Imagine reaching a level of success so high that people across the country wake up to you. Your voice fills their kitchens. Your laughter warms their mornings. Your presence becomes part of their daily rhythm. Now imagine walking away from that world, not because the spotlight dimmed, but because something far more meaningful called your name. This is the story of Kelly Ripa, a woman adored by millions, and the unexpected, deeply human journey that led her to choose love, peace, and a quieter chapter with her husband, Mark Consuelos, over the applause of fame. For decades, Kelly didn't just host mornings. She defined them. She was the spark of energy people relied on, the humor that carried them through chaotic days, the familiar face they trusted. From her early days on All My Children to her long-running morning show, Kelly became something rare, a celebrity who felt like a friend. But behind every camera light, every joke, and every perfectly timed piece of banter, there was a story the audience didn't see. A story about balance. A story about pressure. A story about a woman trying to navigate a life bigger than even her brightest dreams. And at the center of that story stood one man, someone whose presence grounded her long before millions watched them together. Mark Consuelos wasn't just Kelly's husband. He was her partner in every sense, from the chaotic days on set in the 1990s to the unpredictable rhythms of raising a family in the public eye. Their love story began quietly, long before social media or nonstop headlines. When they met on All My Children, their chemistry was obvious, electric, and impossible to ignore. A few months later, they slipped away to Las Vegas and eloped. No stylists, no photographers, no elaborate plan. Just two people choosing each other wholeheartedly. As Kelly's career soared, Mark was the constant that kept her rooted. And although audiences saw the laughter, the flirting, the mutual teasing on air, the depth of their connection off-screen was what truly powered them. They raised their children together, pushed each other forward, and created a life full of adventure, shared goals, and beautiful chaos. But even the strongest couples face seasons of exhaustion and identity shifts. Kelly's mornings began earlier than the sunrise. Scripts, rehearsals, fittings, reviewing segments, unexpected changes, the grind was endless. Viewers saw the results, not the toll. There were days she missed school events, nights she returned home long before Mark had gone to bed, moments where she felt the world claiming pieces of her that once belonged only to her family, and moments where she caught herself wondering how long she could keep balancing it all. Mark noticed before she did. He saw the fatigue written in small moments, the sighs she thought no one was listening, the way she sometimes rushed through life instead of living it. He never pressured, never complained. Instead, he waited with the patience only someone deeply in love could hold. One evening, after a demanding day of production, Kelly came home to find Mark sitting quietly on the sofa, a cup of tea waiting for her. No cameras, no audience, no distractions. They talked, really talked, for the first time in months. Mark asked her a simple but life-shifting question. When you look back one day, which moments will mean more to you? The ones we share here, or the ones you give to the world? It stopped her cold. Kelly had heard praise from audiences, producers, co-stars, and industry legends, but nothing echoed in her heart the way Mark's single question did. A few days later, Kelly walked onto her set the same way she always had, smiling, energized, ready to entertain. The audience cheered, unaware of the shift happening inside her. She carried her routine gracefully, but a softness lingered beneath the surface. Near the end of the show, her voice trembled. For the first time in years, she hesitated. With tears in her eyes, Kelly told her viewers that she had reached a crossroads. She spoke with honesty and vulnerability. She didn't dramatize it, didn't create spectacle. She simply shared her truth. She said she wanted to honor the most important roles of her life: wife, mother, partner, and woman. Not performer, not icon, not professional miracle worker. The studio went silent. People gasped. Some cried. And in households across the country, viewers froze, stunned by the news they never saw coming. The reaction online was immediate. Messages of love, support, sorrow, admiration. The flood was overwhelming. People thanked her for the years she gave them. Some struggled to imagine their mornings without her. Others applauded her for choosing a life that belonged to her instead of the world. For decades, Kelly woke up without a schedule. No flashing red recording light, no call sheets, no urgent text from a producer asking for last-minute changes. The morning sun felt different, peaceful, still. She lay in bed listening to the quiet, feeling her mind pulled toward old habits. For a moment, she wondered if she was late, a reflex sharpened by years of strict timing, but there was no countdown. There was no reason to rush. Instead, she glanced at Mark. He was still sleeping, peaceful and warm beside her, and she realized she hadn't seen him this way, unhurried, calm, unbothered in ages. They laughed that morning over coffee made in their own kitchen, something they rarely did. They joked about how strange normal life felt. Kelly teased Mark about how he now had to share the bathroom mirror for more than 5 minutes. He teased her about being unable to sit still for longer than 20 seconds. Some things never change. But navigating a life away from the spotlight isn't as simple as flipping a switch. For years, Kelly's worth had been measured in ratings, applause, and the rhythm of public engagement. Stepping away meant rediscovering herself, not as a host, but as a person. There were moments she caught herself preparing a funny story, only to realize she wasn't performing anymore. Moments she instinctively reached for her phone to check a schedule that didn't exist. Moments where she felt a strange emptiness that only time and stillness could heal. The world, of course, buzzed with speculation. Why would someone at the top walk away? Why now? Why so quietly? But Kelly didn't owe an explanation, and she wasn't living for headlines. She was living for moments. Moments with Mark, moments with her children. Moments she didn't have to broadcast. Moments she could keep. Meanwhile, Mark was facing his own transition. He had his own projects, his own ambitions, and his own path forward. But the change reshaped his world too. Instead of sharing studio lights, they were sharing morning walks, late dinners, and spontaneous weekend trips. They'd traveled to places where no one knew them, small coastal towns, quiet mountain cabins, tiny coffee shops where they laughed without being recognized. They cooked together, even when it went hilariously wrong. Kelly burned spaghetti twice in Italy, and Mark tried to fix a rental house sink and accidentally flooded the bathroom. They laughed until their stomachs hurt. For the first time in years, they were living, not performing. One night on their balcony, with the stars spread wide above them, Mark turned to Kelly. His voice was soft, full of memories, full of the journey they had shared together. "We won the game, so why keep playing when we already have everything we ever wanted?" Kelly's heart swelled. That was the moment she fully embraced that life wasn't ending. It was beginning, a new chapter, a quieter one, but fuller, richer, more intentional. Audiences still miss them. Fans still reminisce about their on-screen chemistry, the jokes, the banter, the warmth. Their partnership became part of television history, something people will remember for years. But what matters most is this. Kelly and Mark didn't lose anything. They gained time, they gained presence, they gained each other in a deeper way than fame ever allowed. Kelly once said she doesn't know what the future holds, but she knows she'll face it with open hands, steady courage, and gratitude for the journey she and Mark built together, both on screen and off. Love doesn't retire, partnership doesn't fade, and real connection doesn't vanish when the cameras stop rolling. Their story continues, just in a different light. A softer one, a truer one,
a life they chose together. And sometimes, the bravest thing a person can do is step out of the spotlight and walk toward the love waiting just behind it.